Familiar Strangers is an exhibit in the form of what is known as installation art. This one-of-a-kind display was created by local photographer Cara Jones.
Okay, when I moved back to Antigonish, I hadn't lived in a small town in a really long time. And coming from a place like Antigonish, you're constantly hearing about people and seeing them every day and hearing, what's your father's name, what's he do? And I became really intrigued by this sort of culture and what that was about. And then I started noticing that every day I was seeing the same people. Going to the coffee shop and walking down the streets in the grocery store, and they were becoming really familiar faces to me, but complete strangers still, even though we had conversations and we talked and whatnot. So I became fascinated with that idea, and then someone said to me one day, oh, it's like they're a bunch of familiar strangers. And I said, yes, exactly. And I started documenting them, and it was the process of documenting them that was really quite unique. So that's what familiar strangers are, people you see every day. I have 3 different lengths of chain, 64, 71, and 84 inches from the floor. And I just spread them sporadically throughout the gallery and wanted them to turn on a swivel, because it's attached to a swivel, so that when you walked within the gallery, you were coming face to face with these strangers and sort of being forced to reckon with them, being forced to meet them, and just the idea of them being almost, the same height as face to face. And on the outside, I did over 80 pictures, I guess, of the town, just random pictures of businesses and buildings, and I did them in color, because I wanted you to have the feeling of walking in the town, being surrounded by the buildings, and meeting the people on the inside, which are the black and white portraits. So.
St. FX Art Gallery director Bruce Campbell is thrilled with the impact of the installation.
Cara approached the gallery a number of years ago with an idea for an art show, and the idea was presented to the exhibitions committee here at the gallery, and we gave her a carte blanche to do the show. We were so impressed with what she had to offer, where she had been, and we decided we were just going to follow her wherever she was going. I think it's a very, very provocative show. It functions on a number of levels. It's technically very good. It's in a traditional black and white photography plus color photography. It's in the genre of small town photography, where she's documenting local people, local events, plus local businesses.
I always wanted to use something with chain, especially in this idea, because I've sort of like the hardness of chain. It's got a roughness about it, but I also love the idea of what it can symbolize, the links between people. So I use the chain as a sort of representation for myself as the links that tie people together in this community, and the sort of ripple effect and the ripple effect of how people know each other.
Cara's installation, which is dedicated in memory of her friend Jana Maddie, will not soon be forgotten.
People are reacting very favorably to the show because it deals with Antigonish people and businesses. There's a high volume of people coming in to see it. They want to see their relatives, their friends. They want to see themselves. They're interested in how they're being portrayed, what the message is, and business people want to come in because, surprisingly, I've actually had a few questions about how do I get a copy of that picture of my business and stuff. It's pulling the heartstrings of the community, and we got a lot of people in.
It's important to sort of embrace conceptual art as well as traditional art, because times are changing, and our community is very traditional. I think people want to embrace more contemporary work, but they're afraid of change. So an exhibition like this is sort of like an easy transition into that world, and maybe not so intimidating and not so difficult to understand.
In Antigonish, I'm